why, for example, in our industry, like the service, Bulgaria is a service-oriented software industry with few product companies here and there. This explains why in our industry everyone aims to grow big.
Yeah.
Because first this gives you better margins and more profit, but then second you can start working with bigger enterprises, which can give you like more stable business. But for us, 35 people, we have zero chance of winning a big enterprise client right now. And that's why we're working with smaller companies, startups, and somehow we found a niche of actually businesses that make money, and we take care of everything that's software related for them. Like this is for if you open our ideal customer profile, we have such a document. This is what we describe. We work best with companies that give us everything about their software and IT, and we run it for them. And those are our best clients and our best relationships.
So I think this is
But I don't know how to.
outstaffing.
No,
Based on your
it's not outstaffing would be if we are working with a bigger enterprise and they have gaps in their internal teams and they need to fill those gaps, and we just give them
The
the
whole team.
human resources, not always the whole team, but rather here are 5 folks that are going to fill your 5 gaps for backend, frontend, and QA. And those 5 folks, although they are working at HackSoft, when they are working with the client where they have been outstaffed, they will most probably be working in 5 different teams with like different people. Like this is the team augmentation model, and we had an entire episode with Timo. Go watch it, where we explained all of this.
It's good.
What we do best is when the team is internal here at HackSoft and the team is led by someone at HackSoft. We call them technical team leads, but they also do quite a lot of product management and product ownership. And they are the point of communication with the client. Like the client knows, they keep the relationship with the client. They kind of act like an account manager also. And the client knows that whenever they need something, be it they're developing a product or they have a suite of products that need support and additional feature development, they know who to contact. And those are the clients that we build products with them, and also, for example, set up Google Workspace or set up some kind of an ERP system, or they have problems with their Outlook. They know that they can pick up the phone and someone will help them with their IT and software. Like this is, and it's really hard for me to describe it unless I go into way more details, and it's really hard for us to find such clients. Because those are the best clients where we have the most agency, because then we like to push them in a direction that generates revenue for them. Like this is something that we've been doing since the last year. It's also been an eye-opener. It's not about the software development, but rather where you bring value and what can you do that will bring more revenue to that client. And of course, there are clients where you fill gaps. Like this is the majority of the business, to be honest. Because it leverages the arbitrage of salaries and prices. But then again, there are clients that want to work with you because they can rely not only on your expertise, but also the incentives are aligned that their success means that we need to be doing things in a certain way and not just focus on the pure coding and software development, but rather give them a more holistic approach over the entire IT and software and product thing that they're building. That was a mouthful.
That makes sense. So this is your ideal type of customer. And what about if we think of small companies and large enterprises? What's in between? Maybe mid-sized companies. Have you had experience with those, and why are they not your best customer?
Mid-size is like about 50 people.
I don't know what's small in your case. What are the typical customers?
Most of them are under, I think, 50 people.
Under 50 people.
Under
yeah.
50 people
Most
are
of them.
most of the
Right.
most
So
of the
if a
clients we work with.
company is, let's say, 200 to 2,000 employees, I'm interested in why it wouldn't work for them, but it will work for small companies.
It will work for them, and perhaps most recently, we are trying to be, as you mentioned in the beginning, open and flexible. The thing is, they have certain processes in place, and they're looking for someone to fit in those processes. And for some time, we were not the best pick if you want someone to fit within those processes. What we learned over time is once you fit in those processes, once you gain trust, you can start bringing the HackSoft magic and making things work better for them. But what we were lacking is the initial, hey, just trust us. Like some part of our sales process is, hey, just trust us, and here are some case studies to prove our point, but just trust us. What we're trying to do right now, and this is the grind, is do what the industry is doing and build trust by following the processes of other companies until we get to a point where we can start bringing more value than just doing the actual work and being proactive.
Yeah, that makes sense. I guess what I'm getting at is I wouldn't say that you have zero chance of selling to a big company if you're 35 people. It would depend a lot on how those 35 people are organized. Because if they are, a team lead who acts as the account manager and 5 people who deliver, it's like you have 5 companies of 6 people. I suppose if
Yes.
more about the organization is set up to handle the different needs of different stakeholders in large enterprises. So let's say there's someone who's focusing more on security, there's someone who is focusing more on more complex architectural work, or someone who's focusing more on interfaces. I suppose if you set up the organization in ways that address large enterprises' needs better, you might have a better way of winning them. But ultimately, it's about the risk, is what you mentioned. To those guys, you need to demonstrate that you work with similar companies.
Yep.
And maybe you have, for example, small companies that you've worked with that have achieved success and built a name for them. So those are the kind of case studies you want to put out. They will already be perceived by mid-size, and this is how you can go after mid-size, for example.
This is what I'm trying to do, and we can make a break after this.
Yeah.
But I think what Tor said, that the way that we structure our companies, we have 6 different companies with 5 people in them because we're working with different clients, and it's like addressing totally different needs. If you want to focus towards enterprise, you need to build your company in such a way that whenever the enterprise has a need, you can directly address it. You already have it internally. You don't have to start with, hey, let's start a team from scratch. Awesome.
Yep.